introduce your host, Fino, and Sasha the Legit King.
It's the start of the show, time to walk through the smoke. When I enter the ring, I jump over the ropes. I feel like Mysterio, I ain't no joke. Titles, I held them both, call me Chris Jericho. Time to cash in my money in the bank. Just like Sheamus when he beat Roman Reigns. Meet me in the cage, like Undertaker when he met Kane. I don't play games, I'm the Triple H. The crowd screaming, you rock like my name's Dwayne. The crowd screaming, you suck like your Kurt Angle. In the ring, I'm the boss just like Sasha Banks. So you'll get whipped like the intro from Sable. King of my stable, don't matter the label. Smackdown or Raw, you get put through a table. Pushed off a ladder or choked with a cable. Throw me a chair, I'ma give him a facial. It's the start of the show, time to walk through the smoke. When I enter the ring, I jump over the ropes.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the wrestling podcast known as Ring Champs. I am one of your co-hosts. It's your boy, Just Fino, and of course, I'm here with the one and only Sasha, the Legit King. Sasha, say what's up to people.
What's up, people?
How you doing, Sasha? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Can't complain.
You can't complain.
No.
Well, you know what? Your boy can.
I figured I'd leave that to you this episode, but I personally can't complain.
Your boy has a lot. Nah, I'm not gonna say a lot to complain. That would be wrong. I got some complaining to do, but you know we're a positive show, so I'm gonna keep it to the very, very minimum today. But like I said, it's just a little bit. Let's just say that some people didn't reach the expectations that I wanted, that I would expect, you know, because they're supposed to be the best company in the world. You know, I'm just gonna say that.
Okay, well, let's get to it then.
Okay, people, let's just get it right into it. We're gonna start off with the running the ropes. Gonna spit through some topics, and then we got a mid-card topic. Our mid-card topic, we're gonna be talking about Money in the Bank because we got Money in the Bank this weekend. And then our main event, we're actually gonna be breaking down the Money in the Bank participants, kind of giving some reasons why each participant should win and why they shouldn't win. So that's gonna be very interesting. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the running ropes because this is episode 33 of the Ring Champs podcast, and I got some things to say about the first topic for the running ropes, and that is about AEW Forbidden Door, which was this Sunday. It was about started around 6:30, ended around 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, they had an hour and a half pre-show, 4 matches on the pre-show. I think it was like 14 matches total.
As y'all can tell, I did not watch it, and so that's a long time.
It was actually, believe it or not, it went by quick.
Okay.
It was just
word for that.
The problem I had a lot of problems with it though. But I'm gonna keep it to a minimum. So if you notice in our little rundown that I sent you, so it's called AEW Forbidden Door, right? I call it Forgotten Door on our rundown because
I did catch that.
It was a very forgettable show. I mean, besides the main event, which I have to talk about just for a second because it's not for everybody. I understand. Like, that match just shows why AEW is not for every wrestling fan. and it's more of a spot fest than it is the old school natural wrestling. Like, it really tells you why there's a difference between WWE and AEW.
And what match are we referring to?
That match was Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland.
Okay.
For the AEW title. Great match. But it's, like I said, it's not for everybody. There was a sequence they did where, okay, so the best way to explain, you know how wrestling fans and wrestlers, they hate the F word, right?
Yes.
We hate hearing the word fake.
Correct.
However, the one thing about professional wrestling is that when they're having these matches, yes, we know that it's fake, and
it's predetermined. It's
predetermined, but when I say fake, I mean as far as like the moves and stuff. Even they're protecting each other, they're choreographed and stuff like that. But to an extent, they do try to add realism to it.
Right.
So if
the psychology really should be to add some realism to it.
Correct. So like if I do a brain buster to you, or I do a power bomb, I'm gonna make it seem like I'm hurting you, even though we know that they're protecting each other, the normal wrestling fan. But casual is not gonna know that shit. So if you're watching this match, there was a spot where they're just doing flips and they're like purposely missing each other, and it's like obvious that they're not trying to actually hit each other, they're just trying to do the setup, like this choreographed type of thing that they do. And it just looked so, even for me who enjoys Will Ospreay, who enjoys Swerve, who enjoys guys like Ricochet, who loves watching that sometimes, it was even too much for me. It was like, yo, really? You kind of take away from the actual realism of what you're actually trying to do in the match.
I mean, like I said, obviously I didn't see it, but I understand what you're saying in regards to it. It's like we've been conditioned to kind of like accept the spot fest, but then I guess you're saying for you, like, this was too much. Like, this was just,
it was
it just kind of took you out of it, I guess. For the moment. I mean, I've never seen a Will Ospreay match. I'm gonna admit that I've never seen it, but I've heard about them, and I've heard about the one he had with Ricochet. Like, I don't know. Maybe just because of when I grew up watching wrestling, and plus listening to a lot of the podcasts. Like, I love listening to the veterans like break down psychology, and I'm not saying everybody needs to do that. Like, not everybody's gonna work the same way, which is fine. But what you just described, I think I think that's probably where the annoyance of it is with a lot of the veterans. It's kind of like you're just doing stuff, and it's taking people out of it. And it's like you're not supposed to do, like, the whole point of the job is to bring them in and suspend disbelief. And if you take somebody out, it's like it's kind of not doing what you're supposed to do. You just did the opposite. So I get it. I want to see the spot though, because now I'm interested in seeing like what was it that took you out. I guess I'll look at it afterwards. But
I wish I can find it, because I saw a clip of it, and then I meant to send it to you, but I couldn't find it again. So I'm gonna do some research and try to. Maybe it's on TikTok, because TikTok has everything, as we know.
I think there's a way to do it though. Like, I forgot what I was watching, but like I think I saw a clip of Adam Cole versus Ricochet. I don't remember which takeover it was. I think there's I know, but it's like, a lot of matches these days, it's like boom, next one. I'm talking about the spot. You could tell that, but even I will go back and watch matches, and you'll kind of see like, okay, yeah, this is. You could tell they were boom, boom, boom next, but you get so into it, like they still manage to draw you in. There's a way to do it.
Yeah,
I would assume there's a way to do it, but I really want to see this now. I'm intrigued.
And there's
I wanna
always
see what it
like
was.
the thing too is like there's always a purpose for each move that you did. So, you know, you talk about that match with Cole and Ricochet. Yes, there were spots in there, but you can tell the way that, first of all, the way that Adam Cole even wrestles, he does everything for a reason.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is
so he set it
comparison.
up. Right, and then you remember when he did the famous super kick out of the backflip?
Yep.
Like, that was Ricochet doing his spots, and then Cole set it up where, okay, well, now I'm going to hit you with the super kick to stop you from doing it. Like, it was just like, it was all psychology. And that's something, you know, Adam Cole learned that from Triple H and learned that from Michaels because he loved them. He follows them, you know what I mean? So I wish, like, and I don't want to say this like I'm shitting on Ospreay and Swerve because, like I said, the match was good. It was really good. I enjoyed the match, but it was just, it's certain, sometimes it's just something, it could be a little too much. And like, I wish they just focused a little bit more on some psychology of it. Just a little bit more, because it would make them so much better. That's the one reason why I didn't really like Ospreay going to AEW. You know, I knew he would. Is because I would love to see him in a spot where he has to wrestle a different style and learn the WWE style. I'm not saying the WWE style is the best style. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's the most perfect. It's not. But they really teach you what it means to be a professional wrestler, because they teach you the old school style and they mix it with the new style. And you have great wrestling. It's not always great, but shit, if you look at the last couple of weeks, I know people might be triple threat out. I love triple threat matches, by the way. But how many triple threat matches have we had over the last 3-4 weeks that have been great? I think every single one we've had has been really great. They're great. And it was all planned out perfectly and very, very interesting. And just look at the women's match, the one that was on Monday Night Raw, the last qualifying spot, right? It was wow. It was God, now I can't think of her name. The girl with three brothers.
Oh,
Ivy Nile. Yeah, Ivy Nile. It was the Dakota Kai. And who's the last one?
and Zoe Stark.
And Zoe Stark. Those three names, right? When you hear those three names, you're not thinking great, like, superstars or anything like that, right? But I would tell you, you watched that match was really good. They showed out in that match. And it was because they learned that the WWE style. They put them in a position to shine. And I just wish more people were able to kind of jump into the WWE style, even for just a little bit, just for a year, and then go back to your other companies. Because I guarantee you, what Ricochet brings to AEW is going to be magical, because he learned that from Triple H, learned that in NXT, and when he brings that to AEW, they're going to be magical over there. I can't wait for that Ricochet Will Ospreay match, by the way. That's going to be amazing. I don't know when Ricochet is going to debut. Maybe this Wednesday, but we'll see.
It'll be interesting for sure. I still wish they had done something more with Ricochet, or something could have been done more. I will let you tell me how this Ricochet AEW thing goes, because like I said, I just want to see how they're going to be able to do it. If they're going to,
I mean, I think he'll just get more freedom to in matches, and I mean, I love Ricochet. Oh, I've always, you know what I realized today? I was talking to one of my coworkers, right? And I realized that my introduction to every wrestling company outside of WWE, besides AEW and TNA, it was Ricochet. Like, my first match watching in New Japan was a Ricochet match. My first match watching at Lucha Underground was Prince Puma, who's Ricochet. My first match I ever watched of PWG was a Ricochet match. Like, so it was always Ricochet who introduced me. He basically introduced me to the outside world of WWE. And so I've been a huge fan. I'm excited for his run. I know what he's going to do over there in AEW. I already know because I've seen it.
Well, you're gonna be the Ricochet reporter for this show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to. The only thing I don't want is to report that Sam leaves. That's the only thing I don't want to report, because she's an integral part of WWE. So they better offer her the bank. That's all I gotta say to keep her. One last thing though, before we go on to the next running the rope topic. The other reason I want to talk about Forbidden Door. Overall, I thought this was it was like an okay, average at best pay-per-view to me. I thought the best match, besides the Ospreay Swerve match, like I say, it was a really good match. It was just a spot that really bothered me. They did have a match in the pre-show. It was a 6-man tag match that incorporated 4 of the companies. They had New Japan, AEW, CMLL, and some other company. I forgot the other one. But I thought that was really great. I really love the fact that we're in a world where we have wrestling companies working together and just trying to put on a good show. I really hope that one day WWE and AEW can overcome any differences they have, or whatever the case is holding them back. I know they're competitors, whatever the case may be, but I really hope that they can somehow work something out one day. I'm not sure when, not sure how that's going to come to be, but I think that after this show and what WWE has been doing, what AEW's doing with their companies, and so far has been really special. And I hope one day we see that soon, especially before everyone that we currently love, all the top guys now, the Romans, the Kenny Omegas, the Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch's, all these people are gone and retired. I want them to kind of now in their prime. So I'm just hoping for that.
Understood.
But anyway, and by the way, Moxley Naito for the New Japan title. Yeah, worst match of the year in my opinion. I just gotta say.
Okay, I heard that. What happened? Like, why was that so bad?
It was just okay. I don't know. I don't know if Naito didn't want to wrestle or Moxley. I don't know what. It just was boring. It was very slow. It wasn't. I don't know really what it was. I was falling asleep during it. But to be fair, I was already tired. Okay, I had to go to work the next morning.
6 hours of wrestling. Yeah,
so it didn't help that was the co-main. But it had to be because of the title and all that. But it was just not good. It was just very stale, slow moving. There was nothing like exciting. Naito didn't even look like he was hitting his move, like his Destino finisher. It's like he couldn't do it. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's jet lagged. I don't know if Moxley just didn't want to do anything. You know, similar to like the Brock Lesnar match in Mania.
Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up.
I'm sorry, but it felt like that tight. It was worse than that. Honestly, it was terrible. It was a terrible match. I don't know what the hell happened, but that really also hurt the event. You know, besides everything else just being okay, the ladder match was good too. They kind of had a ladder match for the TNT title. Jack Perry did win that. That was good. But even like MJF opened the show against a guy, some Hechicero. I don't even know who he is. It was just okay. Like, and I mean, it's MJF. There's a reason. He's the reason I watch AEW. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's what they put him on the card for. He came back for this match. Like, really? I'd rather him have just waited till All In or whatever to come back or something. I don't know. It was just. I don't know. I just want to forget about it. AEW Forbidden Door. Whatever it's called. Let's go on to the next topic. I'm just tired of talking about it. Next topic, Sasha. WrestleMania 40 Behind the Curtain. This is the documentary about the whole WrestleMania 40 main events from night 1 and night 2. The whole Cody Rhodes versus Roman. Cody Rhodes, Rock taking Rock taking Cody's spot. The whole Las Vegas incident, the slap heard around the world, all of this. We get to hear the behind the story, the behind the curtain. So the question to you, Sasha, I have is, what do you expect to see, hear? Like, what are we expecting from this?
Honestly, I had forgotten this to come out until I saw it on X the other day, because I remember when it was originally scheduled to come out and I went looking for it and it wasn't there. But so I'm just happy that it's here. Finally get to see it. It will be interesting to see how they managed to pivot. I think how transparent they're going to be about it. I wonder how, if any, like, you know, wrestling fans are very opinionated. If, you know, it's going to, because I'm seeing a lot of people, as cool as the final boss is or was, people are kind of like, I feel like this is the first time I've seen people's opinions sway on The Rock in a negative way. And it's really weird. Like, it's outside of when, you know, he left to do movies, but we all kind of saw that coming. But this is like the first time that I've really seen people kind of like taking a negative stance towards The Rock. You know, even I feel like when it started and he came, people were dead set against it, obviously, and then they kind of brought it back. But this whole thing has just been an interesting experience, and I want to see what it was like during that time, and again, how transparent they're willing to be with it, and how that'll maybe help or hinder how people are feeling about, you know, The Rock, and how they feel about how everything ties together. I think it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see it.
You know, I wonder. I'm like you, wondering how much they're going to tell us, because it's a very interesting story. I think that I have to give credit to my boy Fred, who he kind of basically called it, as far as the story, you know, that this was basically decided. Who's going to WrestleMania 40 was the main event. Rock Roman was basically decided like back in October. I know they're probably not going to say that, but
I saw in the preview though that they had said like the big matches. I don't know if they specifically said Rock and Roman, but they said like a lot of the matches were already decided in October.
and see, the thing is though, like, what really confuses me, and I really need to know this answer. If that was your decision for Rock and Roman, then I just don't understand the whole Cody winning the Rumble. That is the question and the answer that I'm probably the most curious in hearing about, because it doesn't make any sense. I do not understand their reasoning for doing that. And until I hear that, I don't know what to say.
I mean, I guess in a way I kind of understand why they had him win, but then I guess the big hole in the story would have been, and that's kind of what they tried to do before the pivot, was I feel like there's nobody else in the company at that time. Like, just everybody, not to slight anybody. It's just Cody's in the story was the biggest thing. Like, outside of Roman, the next biggest thing they had was this Cody thing. And if they're saying this was October, this CM Punk thing didn't even come to the end of November. So I guess they thought they could try to mold this and maybe run Cody and Seth back, but the big hole would have been, why would you not go after the person that cheated to beat you last year and is obviously has the most power in terms of, you know, what he's done to the belt? Like, the common sense thing would be to go after Roman. So I get what you're saying. Like, I get why they had him win, but I just don't. And I think they eventually saw, like, that just wasn't going to work. Like, it just wasn't. But, you know, they fixed it. So, but I want to know what the reasoning was. I want to know why they did it that way, or they thought they could do it that way. But I just assumed that they had Cody win, and maybe they thought, like, you know, maybe we can still have him go and finish his story. Maybe it doesn't have to be Roman. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to Cody, because he was on the Pivot podcast. That's the one with Ryan Clark and the other two guys. I'm sorry, but I just know Ryan Clark the most. And it came out today, the episode, and he talked about The Rock. You know, he was like, he respects The Rock. He still respects The Rock. He grew up loving The Rock, but he still, like, has, like, at least on the outside, he still shows, like, how he doesn't like The Rock at all because of that whole situation. And I loved the way he explained it. You know, he was just like, you know, Rock came in, it was going to be Rock and Roman, but he kind of, like, The Rock realized that, you know, the fans wanted something different, and he changed it. And if that is the actual truth, which I believe part of it is that The Rock said, you know what, we got to change this, because he was not expecting the fans to turn on him like they did. If that is the truth, I think we have to give Rock some more respect than he's probably given about the situation, because, you know, he put his ego aside, I feel like, for the fans and for the betterment of the product. So if that is the true story, then hey, major props to The Rock. So for doing that. But let's go into the last running the ropes topic. And, you know, we're speaking about the bloodline. We might as well talk about current events of the bloodline. So the question I have for you now, Sasha, for the third running the rope topic is, do you acknowledge Solo?
I don't know. I'm kind of torn, because I've seen what happened to the last guy who didn't. So I don't know. They're really amping it up, and what they did to Paul Heyman, sheesh. I don't know. I don't know. the Solo. It's like I'm not down on it. I guess I'm like everybody. I'm waiting for Roman to come back and really just push it over to the top because it's kind of weird. It's like I don't have any beef against Solo. I just feel like I want to see more of like Tama Tonga and like Chica too. Like I want to see the other people around him, but I don't know. I guess I gotta acknowledge the fact that they've been able to keep this bloodline thing going and keep it interesting. So I will acknowledge that.
Well, I think the cool thing too. So last year, Madison Square Garden. You remember the scene where it's Solo picks up the red I don't, what do you call the thing that you put over that he had in his hands that Heyman had, the red thing that goes over their neck.
I mean, I thought it was a lei, but I don't want to like. I mean, there's like another official name for it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I always, it's the lei. That's the one. That's what I think.
But I feel like there's another name for it. I don't want to.
Yeah, there's another name for it.
Yeah, I don't really know.
I'll just say the red necklace. Like there was the scene was Solo picked it up because I think Roman got attacked. I forgot who attacked him. But he had it in his hands, and then I think it was actually after Jay attacked him. Actually, I think Jay had attacked him. But anyway, he had the lei in his hands, the necklace in his hands, and he was looking at it. And Roman saw him holding it and looking at it, and Roman had this look on his face, like he was scared, like, oh shit, like Solo has the necklace, and he looks like he's interested in it, and he wants to be the tribal chief. And now a year later, he's now has it in his hand in Madison Square Garden, and now he's calling himself the tribal chief. It was kind of like long-term storytelling with that. Like, I love those callbacks that they're doing to keep it kind of fresh. And then I love the whole thing about Heyman. How did you hear how he's not even sleeping so he can have that look?
Yeah, he was looking quite rough.
Like, he's purposely not going to sleep so that on the show he can look like he's exhausted because of all the stuff that's going on with the bloodline. Like, that's so fucking amazing. Amazing work with Heyman. Amazing job. I thought that was Solo's best performance so far in his run, and in his entire run, actually. With the blood. I thought that was amazing. I'm really loving the three. Well, yeah, I'm really loving the members of the bloodline. Like, I'm loving what they're doing. They look like they're fearsome. Like, that is a group you don't want to fuck with.
Nope.
And I saw it on the minute I saw what they did to Heyman. I immediately said, "All right, they destroyed the wise man. They gotta replace him, right?" Like that's what hit me. So are we going to see the return of Armando Alejandro Estrada? Is that something that's going to happen? Could he be the new wise man for Solo?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they won't have one because it seems like
he gotta have one. He gotta have one. It just
seems like he's the kind of leader is like he doesn't want anybody to tell him what to do. Like,
no, he doesn't want Heyman to tell him. That's what I think.
I don't know if Armando is. Where'd you get that from? Did you just? I mean, I know he was with Umaga, but like
he was Umaga's wise man.
Well, I know that, but that was a random throwback. Like, I was like, what?
No, well, Solo does the whole thing.
I know. It's just been a long time since I've heard that name.
It's the first thing I thought of. I was like,
Is he still in
yo,
the wrestling business? Like, is
I
he
think he is. Yeah, I
okay?
think he is. But yo, that would be amazing. Like, and then you know what's crazy? I looked online. I wasn't the only person who thought that. Like, everyone, I think he was trending. Like, I was like, oh shit.
I mean,
Or
I
like,
guess I'd be open-minded to see.
yo, if he comes back, or like, even if it's just Rikishi, like, I don't even care. Like, but it'd be cool if it was Armando. That, like, he was the original wise man, if you really kind of think about it. So it's like, that'd be pretty cool. I think that would be dope. And then you have Heyman come back and attack Estrada. Like, that should be fun. That should be fire. I don't even care. One last thing, though, before we move on. Do you think that Heyman, because one of the things I think I mentioned to you off air was the return. No, I said this on John Kane's post. I was like, I think that Heyman could bring back Brock. He doesn't bring back Roman. He brings back Brock. And the reason why I thought about that is, what if, one of the reasons that Roman became the tribal chief too was because he overcame Brock Lesnar. So wouldn't it be a great kind of like callback to that by having Solo overcome Brock Lesnar too?
I don't know.
He's doing everything kind of what Roman did.
I don't know if people would pick up on that. Like,
I think that would be crazy. I thought that would be cool.
Nah, I don't know. I think we need to just strictly keep this where it's going. Clearly, Roman's going to come back. I'm more interested to see how Roman, who has been emotionally manipulative to mostly everybody in his circle, how he can bring this back together to slay Solo and the new bloodline. So that's what I'm interested in.
I think it's going to be a while before we see Roman. I'll just be honest. So that's why I think Brock would be a good filler to extend it.
No, which is fine. I mean, if it's going to be a while before we see Roman, like, the wise man is done, so let's just see, like,
how they do it on their own.
Yeah, let's just see how they do it on their own. Let them kind of, and we could talk about that more when we, preview Money in the Bank. How this could be a really good opportunity for them to kind of build themselves up for when he comes back. So it won't just seem like Roman's going to come back and
destroy him.
Yeah, so.
Gotcha. All right, guys. So that is it for our running the ropes topics. Let's get into the mid-card topic of the day. And that is going to be talking about Money in the Bank. Sasha, Money in the Bank is one of my favorite pay-per-views. I think after Mania and the Rumble, it's Money in the Bank for me. I just always loved the concept of Money in the Bank. I think that is just an overall exciting period. I used to not like the fact that they moved it off of WrestleMania. I kind of like that idea of having it at WrestleMania, but ever since they moved it to its own show, Money in the Bank has become kind of like the fifth pay-per-view, like the fifth of the top pay-per-views for WWE. We know the big four, and now I feel like Money in the Bank is now number 5 in there. Especially now that you have a men's, you have a women's one, so it's just a great overall time. This year they're going to be in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We have 5 matches on the card. This is also going to be a joint weekend with NXT, who's going to be having NXT Heatwave on Sunday, and let's see, Money in the Bank is on Saturday, so great 2 nights of wrestling. Before we get into the event of Money in the Bank, I do want to find out what are some of your favorite Money in the Bank match moments.
Okay, I do. I actually sat and made a little list. Obviously, I think the let's see from last year. Damian Priest winning, that was cool. And I remember we talked about that in the preview, how like it was either him or LA Knight. And I remember how I made the case for I thought it would be best of Damian wins. He did win, and it was a really good match. I was watching um a video on YouTube. I think it was yesterday or today. I don't remember what day it was, where they had all the participants in last year's men's Money in the Bank watch a playback of the match itself, and that's always cool to see like
I
what
love
they
it.
think in the match. Those are really fun to watch, so
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Um, I know you talked about earlier. I thought too when they first moved it to being its own pay-per-view at PLE, I was like, oh man, I really liked it on WrestleMania. I thought it was just a really interesting, cool concept. So, one of my favorite moments was from 2007, WrestleMania 23, when they had the Money in the Bank ladder match. That was the year that Mr. Kennedy won. Um, yeah, but I think the leg drop that Jeff did off to Edge, that whole match was actually pretty entertaining. Like there was some pretty interesting little moments in there that I enjoyed. Um, and then the 2016, the one where Dean Ambrose, when he was, Dean Ambrose at the time, when he won, and that was the night that Seth beat Roman to be champion, and then Dean came out to beat Seth. So that was when all members of the Shield were champions in one night. And plus, like, shout out to the production team. That video package for the men's Money in the Bank match, it was to the song Black Honey by Thrice. When I tell you I was obsessed with that song after I saw that video package. You know how they have like the Spotify like Wrapped or whatever at the end of the year? That was like my number one song that I played. I freaking loved that package. It was so good. And my other one was Big E winning. There's very few people that I think that you'll ever like just never hear anything bad about. And I think Big E is just one of those. He is like a gem among people. So I was just so happy when he won. The crowd was just so happy. If he ever comes back, if he doesn't, I just want him to be happy. But I'm so glad he got that moment to win Money in the Bank, and then we ultimately know he cashed in. So those are just some of my moments.
All right, so for me, it all starts with the very first one. I feel like what Sheldon Benjamin did in those Money in the Bank matches is just legendary. And running the ladder, dance swanton he did off of it. It's just so many Shelton Benjamin. A legend.
Yeah, those first few years it was Shelton Benjamin.
It just killed it. I did like that match you mentioned with the Dean Ambrose, who then later on win after cashing in same night on Seth Rollins. That's one of my favorite moments. All Shield members having it within 5 minutes, like it's crazy. Trying to think, there was another one. There was one. What year was that? I want to say it was like 2013, 2012. It's the one where like every participant was a world champion. It was who was in that match? I'm trying to think. I know it was Punk or Randy won. It was the one Randy won, but it was Randy, RVD, CM Punk, Sheamus, Christian, and I think Daniel Bryan was in that match. And that was a really good one. I think RVD came back. He wasn't even supposed to be in that match or something. He returned for this match.
That was Money in the Bank 2013.
2013? Okay.
Yeah.
Because then that's when Randy cashed in at SummerSlam. on Daniel Bryan, and that's the beginning of the whole B plus player Daniel Bryan thing. Basically, Triple H turned on Daniel Bryan, hit him with the pedigree, and the whole story leads to WrestleMania 30. So yeah, it was that was one of my favorite Money in the Bank ones. And then the women's one, the whole Carmella winning, like I love Carmella as Miss Money in the Bank. She won it. She won the first two. The first one, technically, they say she didn't win it. It was the dude with the what's his name?
James Ellsworth. Yeah,
James Ellsworth was the one that won it. Whatever. But then she won it on the very next SmackDown. And then cashed in on Charlotte. So, and of course, with the epic moment where she's trying to cash in and the referee's taking a sweet ass side. That shit was hilarious too. But yeah, gotta love Money in the Bank. I can't wait for it this Saturday. So let's kind of break it down. We're not going to break down the 2 Money in the Bank matches because we're going to save that for the last main event topic. But we are going to break down the rest of the weekend. So let's see. Let's start with Money in the Bank. And I'm trying to figure out I have my notes out. Sorry. All right, here we go. So we have first match on the card. We got Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. Sasha, are we going to see a new champion for the young Braun Breaker, the future of the wrestling business?
I don't know. I feel like I'd be more scared if he doesn't win what he would do. But that's a tough one. I feel like I could see Sammy pulling this out. Like, Braun Breaker's a scary individual who may or may not have committed homicide against Ricochet, but I don't know. I see Sammy somehow pulling this off.
Okay. You know what? I was thinking that, but I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go with Braun. I think Braun, you give him the title now, and you just let him run with it. I think the only problem is I don't want to see another long title run, but I think that he doesn't need to have it that long. Have a good enough run where he just dominates people, probably to around Rumble, maybe even if you have it to, well, we're in July, so that's what, 6 months is Rumble.
Yeah.
And then Mania would be 8 months. Yeah, I could see him holding it to at least to Rumble. Losing
actually, was it Rumble? Is it going to be February next year?
Oh, is it next year? That's February. Oh yeah, February 1st. Yeah, so it's actually 7 months. Maybe lose it on the way to Rumble.
Maybe.
Like
maybe survive
or something like that. I don't know if I want him going into Mania as the champion. I want him to feel like because I want him to have a big match at WrestleMania. I think that's something that they're going to definitely do. I don't know who it's going to be at this point, but I don't want him to defend the title at Mania. So I don't want him to have a long run, but I do want him to have a decent I'll be fine with a 4 to 6 month run. I'll be fine with that. So I'm going to go ahead and give Braun this. Unless I was, another suggestion would probably be maybe SummerSlam. That he wins it there for the bigger event. But Money in the Bank is, like I mentioned, is I think a top 5 one now. So it's still considered a big event. So maybe this is when they pull the trigger. I'll go with it. Braun Breaker beats Sami Zayn in his first title match. Plus, he's still upset he wasn't in Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
so,
we know.
I'm gonna go with that. Maybe they'll have him and Sheamus at SummerSlam or something. Like that would be epic. I would love to see that. So, I'll go with Braun on that one. All right, let's go with your boy's match. We have the last chance match. Damian Priest defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth freaking Rollins. With the stipulation, if Priest wins, Seth Rollins will never challenge for the title as long as Priest is the champion. And if Rollins wins, Damian Priest must leave the Judgment Day. El Campeon. Is he going to remain champion? Sasha, I need an answer.
Why must they do this to me? Okay. Man, I always feel bad because I always feel like I'm betting against Seth Rollins, but
yeah, you're not a big Seth Rollins fan.
I am. That's not true. That's not true. Not true. I understand that if Seth wins, then that means at SummerSlam it's going to be Seth Rollins and Gunther. I understand that. And with that being said, I could see. I don't feel like Gunther's gonna leave SummerSlam without the title. That's how I feel. Like I feel like he's been just kind of cooling his jets for a while. I think SummerSlam might be it for Gunther. I just can't figure out who he's gonna be facing. Clearly, I don't want my guy to lose. Clearly, but it's just so much going around where it's like, Finn and this Liv thing, and it's just, I don't know, it's not looking too good. It's July, right?
It is July.
3 months is a decent amount of time, right? For him to keep the belt. I don't want to bet.
Let me ask you this. Maybe I can make it easier for you. Let me ask you this. Take Seth Rollins out of it. I don't really think he matters right now. I want you to focus, because you mentioned Finn and you mentioned Liv. I want you to focus on that. Because I think this match is more really about that than it is about Seth. The story of the Judgment Day, they did that for a reason, right? They've been pushing this idea Damian Priest doesn't need the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day needs Damian Priest. So I posed a question to you. Does the Judgment Day need Damian Priest as is? And I'm including Liv Morgan in the Judgment Day.
Do they need him?
Do they need him?
I would say they do need him.
Why would you say they need him?
Because he's the champ. I understand that they're the tag team type champions. I get it, but they only got it because of Liv.
Let's say he's not. Let's just take the championship away. Do they need Damian Priest?
To be honest with you, I would not be. As much as I've really enjoyed the Judgment Day these past few years, I really think that it's just not going to last too much longer. And I'm okay with that. Like, I really feel like, I don't know. I don't think so. Like, I think Damian, I don't know. I think
my next question then.
Just continue. Because I feel like, even in a way, it's just not what it was. And that's not a bad thing. It's not. But I think Judgment Day is a unit. For that to dissolve and for it really to that would help everything kick into the next gear. Because if you have them dissolve, I'm thinking it's because of Finn. Like, Finn's gonna do something to Damian. We're still waiting for Rhea to come back. Like, Judgment Day has to go for this to kick into the next gear. It's not the same. It's because you could even tell, like, when they're having these backstage segments, it's just it's kind of almost like two different entities. It's like Damian is the champ all kind of by himself. Well, it's kind of three. Like, Damian's champ all by himself. Dom is just kind of in the middle. I do feel like he's innocent in this whole thing. Like, I'd be very surprised if Rhea came back, and it was like Dom was really after Liv the whole time. Like, I really think that Dom's innocent in this whole thing. So I don't know. I don't think. I don't know. I know I'm not answering your question, but it's.
So the thing about what's interesting about it is that JD doesn't want Liv. Finn seems to want Liv. Actually, no, he does want Liv.
He's okay with her being there.
Carlito wants
It's just
Liv.
mess.
He's just there, but he wants Liv.
He's very entertaining.
Dom doesn't want Liv. Priest doesn't want Liv. But the problem is, Dom seems to be fighting his feeling for Liv in a way. Like, he doesn't want her, but at the same time, he's not saying no in a way. Like, he is, but he's not. You know what I mean? He could shut it down, but he's really still leaving the door open, I feel like. I truly believe that if your boy does not win, he's getting kicked out anyway. And I think the new evolution of the Judgment Day, and this is going back long-term storyline. This is a callback. WWE loves their callbacks. Do you remember the formation of Judgment Day?
Yes.
Who was the first member?
It was Damien.
Edge brought Damien.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the next member?
Rhea.
It was Rhea. Who was Rhea feuding with?
Liv.
Who was Edge feuding with?
Wasn't it AJ at the time?
No.
Wait, at one point wasn't it like AJ, Finn, and Liv?
It was Finn first.
Okay.
Then AJ.
Are you sure? Because then it was wasn't it the match?
It was Finn first, and then they brought AJ. AJ came in. He was the second one because they went into Mania and all that. But it was Finn first. Then Finn later, Liv and Finn kind of had this plan to attack and destroy Judgment Day.
Wasn't the match that Damien first joined Edge? That was Edge and AJ.
Was it?
Yeah. It was Edge and AJ at WrestleMania. That was
WrestleMania happened first?
Yeah. Because before, remember, it was AJ
there.
and Edge, and then Damien interfered.
Okay, so Finn was the second person. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
But either way, I get what you're saying. It was AJ, Finn, and Liv. But Finn and Liv still had that tie together.
They had the tie together this whole time. What if they're calling that back? The way to destroy Judgment Day is to do it from the inside.
I mean, that's
what they're doing.
That.
I think this is, at the end of the day, this is what I see them doing. I think that, so if you go to Bullet Club, well, the way Bullet Club always switched their members was that the leader always got jumped out. It's kind of funny how Finn was the first leader he was the first leader of Bullet Club. And I feel like now Damien's calling himself the leader.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's going to take him out. Finn is going to become the new leader and like the new head honcho of the Judgment Day. There's going to be a new group, which is what I wanted. I just thought it would be Damien that creates the new group of it. But it's really going to be Finn. It's going to be Finn, Liv, Dom's going to join in. JD's going to follow Finn. Carlito's just there. You know, he just want to be cool. Maybe they added a member or so. They're gonna need to actually because they need a big guy to counter Damian, and that's what I think they do. And they kick Damian out. I'm gonna give Damian the win against Seth, but I still believe that Damian's gonna get kicked out of the Judgment Day probably as soon as. Trying to see. I'm not gonna say before SummerSlam. I'm actually gonna say the Monday night after SummerSlam. He gets kicked out after he loses the title. That's my prediction for that.
We shall see.
I'll
I'll
still
just
need
go
a
ahead and
winner.
pick Damien too. I'll pick
Okay.
Damien. I don't
You're
want
gonna pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna. One of my reasons why I don't have Seth winning. I did have an idea where I would have Roman would cost Seth the title, kind of to get him back for what he did at Mania. But because of the whole Bloodline story, I can't say that now. So I don't know what Seth is going to be doing with him not going after the title. But I mean, all he has to do is wait a month because Gunther's going to be the champion after SummerSlam. So we'll see what Seth gets into leading into SummerSlam. I'm sure they got something planned for that. All right, and getting into the other match, we have a 6-man tag team match. We do have the powerhouse team of Cody Rhodes. We have the Viper, a.k.a. the Starer, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. And that's going to be any 3 members of the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and Jacob Fatu. I do expect that to be Solo, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu.
I agree.
And I do see this as a really great match that Solo picks up the win and probably pins Cody. That's what I see.
Yeah, I see the Bloodline. I'll keep it short. Like, I feel like what we talked about earlier, like, they need this to really start making them even more of a presence and to beat 3, you have, KO and Randy being former champions, Cody being the current champion. I think this is definitely what they need. So I'm going to go Bloodline on this.
Yeah, and
I don't see Randy turning on Cody yet. I think that's going to be... They're going to continue to plant seeds like they've been doing.
Yeah, I agree. I think we don't see that probably too closer to the end of the year, I think. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest. I see that as the Royal Rumble match probably for Cody. Like that's where I'm aiming at. Yeah, I mean I think that's the best thing. And I think we're really gonna get Cody and Solo at SummerSlam. So I'm fine with that. I really am. Maybe we see the return of Roman or Brock there. I think SummerSlam, something big happens at SummerSlam for sure regarding the Bloodline. So whether that be The Rock returning, there's going to be some big return at SummerSlam. I think that is, you can book that. I'm gonna go far as saying that you can book it. All right, so let's go to Heat Wave. Like I said, we're going to talk about the Money in the Bank matches in depth in just a few. But let's jump to Heat Wave real quick. We can speed through Heat Wave unless we have, there's a lot more you want to talk about. So we got 6 matches on the Heat Wave card on Sunday, which is, I think one of them is on the pre-show, which might be the tag team match.
Yeah,
the women's tag team match. I think that's on the pre-show, but it doesn't tell me right here, so I'm just gonna let it ride. So let's start with that one: Carmen Petrovich and Ariana Grace versus JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. I'm just gonna go JC Jane here. That tag team. JC Jane has now the mask from Cody. They seem to be pushing her a lot more now, even though I do like what Carmen's been doing. I do like Chelsea Green's niece Ariana Grace. I do like that, but I'm going with JC Jane here, basically. What you think?
I agree.
Agree? Okay.
Even though I really do love Ariana Grace.
Yeah, she's been really great. Well, and I don't know. I'm sure you know she's Santino's daughter, so that's pretty cool too. I have a question I'm gonna ask you later about Santino, so I'm gonna hold off to that. All right, the next match we do have a last chance match, another one on Heat Wave. We have Obafemi defending the North American title against Wes Lee. If Femi wins, Lee can never challenge for the title as long as Femi is the champion. Who do you have?
A lot of cool last chance matches this weekend. Jeez.
Yeah, no.
I feel like if Wesley wins and he manages to beat Obafemi, then I think we gotta seriously start looking at when is Oba coming for Trick. Because where else do you go from there? Like, at this point, is Obafemi bigger than the NXT North American title at this point? Not physically, just like is he ready to go? Yeah, to go to that next level. And I would say, yeah, he's such an interesting character. He's just it's amazing.
Yep. He has the greatest walk of history.
But I could see Wesley, because I feel like if Wesley doesn't win, then what?
Then who?
What's for him? So I would give it to Wesley on this one. And plus, Wesley was a really, really great champion.
I think they list him as the best North American champion.
So yeah, even if I would give it to him, because if he wins, he can always go and continue on that legacy, continue to establish it. It's being great. Think about if one of the three people in the main event, it can be Ethan Page and Wesley. It could be like, there's places they could go with this. So I'm going to give it to Wesley, because at this point, it's like, when are you going to start having Oba kind of go, and get to that next level?
Right.
And if I like Trick, I feel like Oba would be a stronger champion, like as the NXT champion. And I'm not saying that even Trick has to, if he loses, he goes straight to the main roster. I think that would be an interesting little, series of matches they could have, or like a little feud they could have with Trick and Oba, because Oba he's the person that's most likely the biggest obstacle that Trick would have to face at this point, would be Obafemi on the current NXT roster. So I'm gonna go with Wesley on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think Wesley does win it. To be honest, I thought Javon Evans was going to be the person to beat Oba. But if they got Javon already fighting for the NXT championship, they probably already got him higher on the card, obviously. Maybe he doesn't go down for North American. And I think it is time for Oba to move up to the bigger title. So I'll go Wesley as well. I have a feeling we're wrong, though, but I think the smarter play is probably picking Wesley on this. They can't have both people in the last chance match lose. You know what I mean? We already picked Damian to win, so gotta have Wesley win it. So I'll go Wesley as well. I agree with you on that. All right, so let's go with the next match. Is going to be for the Women's North American Championship. We got Kalani Jordan defending her title for a second time. This time it's going to be against Sol Ruka. This is the match that I'm very interested in this match, because not only is this two baby faces, but this is two baby faces with bright futures. And I'm curious on how they are going to book this, because I really didn't see them. It's really hard for me to see Soruka lose. She doesn't really lose that much.
Mm-hmm.
But then Kalani just won the title, and are you really going to take it from Kalani this quickly? I don't see this. This is actually the first time she's defending the title on a pay-per-view or a PLE. I'm sorry. So I just don't know if that's too soon. So I'm gonna go Kalani Jordan with the win, but I feel like it's gonna be fluky. Something happens and she wins it fluky. So that's my pick.
I agree with you. I do feel like Kalani just won it. It's her second defense, but I kind of want Soul to take it from her. But then it's like
I like Soul better. I will say that.
I do
like
like.
Soul
I'm more interested in Soul. But then I wonder, like Kalani, she seems like a very nice girl. I just something like some little oomph to her. So I wonder, like, if Soul were to take from her, because they seem like they're friends. I wonder if Soul were to take it from her in her second defense. What would that do to her, character-wise? Like, what would that do? You made history, and then the first big stage opportunity you have, you lose. Like, what would that do to her character?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll just go with Soul. I feel like Kalani's gonna win, but I'll go with Soul.
Okay, I can see. The only thing I'm gonna say is Kalani Jordan been hanging around Carmelo Hayes a little too long. I don't know what I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna say some fluky stuff happens. That's all I'm gonna say. She might cheat, unintentionally, intentionally. You know what I mean? That's all I'm gonna say. But okay, we got next match, tag team match for the NXT tag team titles. We got Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Chase U. Who you got?
I'll go with Frazier.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy. Frazier and Axiom. Easy dub. I feel like Ridge Holland's going to do something that cost him the title. All right, so let's get into the main event of this card. It's obvious it's going to be the Prodigy, Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice, who had I think a very great promo tonight on NXT. Some people say it was a little too much, but I really did enjoy the emotion coming from Lola Vice, who's trying to win this for her mother.
I want to hear what you have to say about this, because I know how much you love Lola Vice.
I mean, I love Roxanne Perez equal too, so that's my first love. This is tough for me. This is really tough. I'm gonna go Roxanne Perez to win. I don't think Lola wins in her first chance, but she will get close. But Roxanne does win this. I still believe we're going to get Roxanne versus Julia. I think, or Roxanne versus some big name. But I think the only big name right now is either Roxanne and Cora or Roxanne and Julia is going to be the next PLE during SummerSlam week. I don't know which one they have around there, but I think NXT usually has a show on SummerSlam weekend.
Yeah.
So it's either be Cora or Julia. One of them. I'll take either one.
But I'm going to go with Roxanne too.
Yeah. Okay. Same reason?
Yeah. I mean, Lola being the next challenger absolutely makes sense. So this match makes sense of why it's happening, but I just don't see Lola being the one to take it off of her. Because like you said, you got Julia. I don't know how long. I feel like maybe Cora still has a good way before she heals up. So I would think Julia would be the next challenger. So I'm still gonna go with Roxanne.
Cora should be ready.
When did she hurt? I feel like it has been that long.
It feels like it was recent, but not like she's basically like almost cleared.
Either way, I'm gonna
Jesus.
go Roxanne.
Oh. But yeah, Roxanne. All right, and then I guess the co-main event in my eyes, fatal four-way match for the NXT title. Trick Williams defending his title against Javon Evans, Ethan Page, Shawn Spears. Should be a really good match. I really don't see Trick Williams losing though, only because I think we both have it where Obafemi is going to be the one to beat him. So
Yeah.
I think this is pretty quick. Trick Williams wins. He probably pins Javon Evans or something like that. I think that's what's going to happen. He pins Javon. But yeah, Trick Williams keeps the title.
I feel like that would be so interesting if I'm picking Trick, by the way, but I think it'd be so interesting if Trick comes out and he says, my biggest obstacle so far, I beat 3 of the best that NXT has to offer, and then Oba comes out fresh after losing after Wesley, and he's like, you might have beaten 3 men, but that's still no match for beating me. Like, I'm worth 3 men or more than 3 men or whatever. I just think that would be an interesting little exchange for them to set that up. Oba's a big man, and
I'd be scared of Oba, especially he comes out doing that walk. Yo, I'm running. He'll be walking to the ring. I'll be running out of it. So I got
that walk kind of makes me giggle a little bit when I see it, because it's just so like nobody else could do that without looking silly. Like it's actually a silly walk if you look at it, but
it is.
Yeah, but he makes it. Yeah, he pulls it off.
I love when he does his walk. I love when shout out. Hold on, real quick. Shout out because you just made me think about it. You know how we did our rankings, our power rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jada's shooting up the rankings. You know what she did tonight?
I'm aware, but they're tied.
She beat that
we can beat her one day, and then so they're 1 for 1.
She beat her ass. It is over. Feud over.
What do you mean?
She beat her ass. It is over.
It's 1 to 1.
It's ass whooping to a 0. That's what it is. And by the only reason I thought about Jada, because her walk when she does that shoulder thing, oh my god, woo!
Focus.
Oh man, but yeah, Jada's shooting up the list. I'll tell you that right now. Chin out the list. She off. She gone. Bye bye.
Had a vendetta.
Bye bye.
Anyway.
Bye bye.
No. Wait.
She gone. We
picked Trick Williams. Let's move on.
We did, but Trick Williams need to get with Jada. That's what he need to do. And maybe he'll shoot up the list too. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, people. Let's get on to the main event topic of the show. And that's us basically breaking down the Money in the Bank matches that are happening this Saturday. We got the men's match, the women's match. We're gonna tell you why each competitor should win and why they should lose the match. So we're going to start off with the women's match. The women's Money in the Bank. We got 6 women in this match. We have Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Stark battling it out for the Money in the Bank contract. Sasha, we're going to start with Zoe Stark. Okay, and then we're going to work our way up. Zoe Stark. Sasha, give me one reason why Zoe Stark should become the Money in the Bank contract holder.
I mean, it would definitely help boost her career and maybe give her and Shayna some exposure. I don't pick her to win, but if I had to pick a reason, it would help her career, definitely, and it would be a surprise. So,
I think
yeah, maybe.
for me, the one reason why I would pick Zoe Stark is for the surprise factor.
Yeah.
I think that out of the 6 women, she is the one that everyone is automatically ruling out. She's out. And if you're trying to shock the world, you have Zoe Stark win this match. She is, believe it or not, really good in the ring. I know that it may sometimes appear that she's not, but I've seen her put on some good matches. She's athletic. She can do a lot of good moves. She can move in the ring. And I would be really interested in seeing her on her own. I also would love to see her with more of a darker, like, character. Like, I feel like she has this tough girl look, but I don't like the tough girl look, but you smiling. She kind of does this smirk type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something it doesn't fit. I need her to be like a true, like, badass, because she can do it. And her current character doesn't work for me. So if you want to give her a career rejuvenation, give her Money in the Bank. Now tell me why she should lose. Is it just because there's better people?
I wouldn't say that necessarily. I really want to see her and Shayna kind of help revitalize that tag team division. And I thought it was an interesting thing that they've been kind of teasing Sonya Deville, because that is actually a good pairing, I think. I think that's with Sonya having, her MMA background as well, and her probably being the stronger talker of the 3, that would really help them. So I'm more interested in seeing her and Shayna as a tag team than I am singles. Like, I just feel like she needs a good tag team run and more exposure, and really kind of helping that tag team division out, and then we can talk about her as a singles later on. But I don't think, because I feel like if she wins, she's not going to hold the title very long if she manages to cash in and win. Like,
right?
Because we really don't know much about Zoe Stark. Like, we haven't had a chance to really make a connection with her, whether it's good or bad. She's kind of there right now.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the reason why I think she should lose. I think there are other things that can be done with her, and then we can circle back later and talk about a singles run. I don't think the time is right now.
Gotcha. All right. I agree with that. So I'm going to go on to the next person. And the next person we're talking about is going to be GLOW, Miss Glow herself, Naomi. Sasha, I need you to tell the people why she should lose Money in the Bank.
Oh, dear. This is a tough one. Why she should lose? Maybe I think she should lose because as much as I like Naomi and the Glow, we've been doing the Glow for a very, very long time. And I think, not saying she needs to turn heel or anything, but I feel like Naomi's still kind of in that place that she's always been. Like, she's just kind of in the middle of the pack. People love her. I know you're not like a huge fan of her, in-ring work, but she has a very faithful fan base, especially with her being with Jade and Bianca being affiliated with them and how big that is for the culture. But I think she should lose because I think maybe this could be more of a turning point for her to kind of do something a little different. Because, this Glow thing, we've been doing this since 2016, 2017. So it's been a long time. So I just want to see a little something different from Naomi. So maybe this would be her opportunity to say, you know what, I came back. I wanted to be better, but maybe I change it up. Maybe something's not working. And I got to do something different. So that's why I think she should lose.
Okay. And why should she win?
Because my girl needs a win. She's kind of going back to what I said earlier. Like, she's in the middle of the pack. She needs to, I feel like in a way, she's kind of been surpassed out of the big three. Say what you want about Jade in the ring. A lot of Jade's positives is her aura and her look and the potential of what she could be. And I think that as much as I love Naomi, she needs something. Because Jade already, she came in with all the hoopla, and Bianca's built up a damn near, she's gonna go in the Hall of Fame one day. Like, Bianca's already that girl. But I think Naomi needs this to get herself back in that title contention. Because it's been a long time since she's been champion. Like, she's been tag team champion, but it's been like almost as long as she's had the glow since she's been a singles champion in WWE. So
I would say, so the reason why she should win is because I need her to change. And I don't know if it's exactly turning heel, but you know what? Fuck it. I need Naomi to turn heel.
I don't think she needs to be in the bloodline. I'm really tired of people trying to put her in the bloodline.
You know what? I'm putting her in the bloodline. I wouldn't. That wasn't the direction I'm going, but since you brought it up, I would even do that. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because it kind of would fit what I'm gonna say. I need Naomi to win this. I would pick her to win this. The reason why she should win is because she would save two characters. She would save her own, and she would save Bayley. Because Bayley, we all love Bayley. But Bayley is, let's be honest, she's gotten stale really fast. Really fast. And the reason why is because she hasn't really had anything going since the whole damage control thing.
Yeah.
There's no story, there's no nothing. So it's like, what have you been doing? Like, okay, we know you fought Piper Niven because of what's going on. You know, they went to her country. That was going to be a short-term feud. But okay, what's next? We don't know what's next. There is no one next. You're not facing Jade. You're not facing Bianca because they were tag team champions. They're also
at SummerSlam.
Right, we got SummerSlam coming up, but what are you gonna face both of them? Like, or is that what they're gonna do? Like, I don't know what's the direction for Bayley moving forward. And her best friend is Naomi. Well, what happens in wrestling more than anything? You turn on your best friend.
Yeah.
So I need to say both of them, both of their, characters, not their careers, but just say both of their characters right now. I need to spice up the women's tag team. The women's main title division right now. I need to save. Well, actually, no, we do know what she's doing at SummerSlam. Never mind, I forgot Nia. But yeah, we got to spice that up. I just feel like that would be the direction to do it. That would be why Naomi should win. The reason why she should lose is just because, honestly, with her, she is a big name, but I don't think that her as the Money in the Bank person is actually going to help the division. Unless she is going to turn heel. That's my thing. If she's if she's a face and she wins it, it's gonna hurt her more than if she was heel. So that's why I think she should lose, because I don't see them turning her heel. She's making too much money. So that's my thing. All right, so let's go on to the next person, and I'm gonna let you start it off because I'm guessing this is your pick. So next person is Chelsea Green.
Yes, young Chelsea.
So
Why she
I need to know why she should lose first, because I really want to know why she's gonna win.
I was about to say, like, I don't know. I don't think she should lose, but
if you had to pick why she should lose, why should she lose?
Because it would be a conspiracy there. That's why she should lose.
Okay,
the only reason why she should lose if there's some kind of conspiracy behind it. That's my answer.
Okay. Why should she win?
Because she's Chelsea Green. No. Same thing. My girl needs some wins, man. Like, Chelsea Green, we've been over this. She does great character work. Now I feel like she knows who she is. You know, she's not bad in the ring. She's not bad at all. I think it would be super entertaining, first of all, to have Chelsea Green be Women's Money in the Bank winner, because I feel like she's going to take that and she's going to just make it interesting. She's going to make it funny. She's going to harass the hell out of Nick Aldis with this thing, and even have a chance to, harass Adam Pearce, because she can cash in on either champion, which I think is cool. I know I sent you the other day, like, somebody had pitched that, because if you see interviews with her, she always talks about, like, how great she would have been in the Divas era, which I could see that. How she would bring back the Divas title and claim it as hers without actually having to beat anybody, and just seeing how, like, flummoxed all this would be. That's not going to happen, obviously, but I would be tickled if she did something like that. That would be hilarious if she did that. I think it's her time, man. Like, I think she's been across all three brands. You gotta admit, when she first came in WWE and she was with, I think, Robert Stone, she really didn't say much. I think she was some kind of, like, socialite girl, and she got eliminated from the Rumble. That was, like, her big thing. Within, like, she had the shortest time, and then for her to come back and just really let it out, and she's just been amazing. Like, I feel like out of all the women in the match, her and Tiffany Stratton, I would say, well, I think even more than Tiffany. I think Chelsea's really just been the one who's kind of been making her mark. Are there people with more longevity? Are there people with a lot more, maybe, I don't want to say hype as a negative thing, but I feel like there's a big case for the fact that Chelsea Green has probably been one of the better female talents over the last year, and just making her way, just trucking along without being a Becky Lynch or a Bianca or a Jade or anything like that. She just did that on her character work. And I think that speaks volumes about her as a performer. So that's why I think, outside of a conspiracy, we're going to have Chelsea Green be our winner. And she should be.
Okay. What about Tiffany Stratton?
I think Tiffany should lose because I really don't have a good reason why she should lose. It's her and Chelsea that I think that needs to win. Obviously, I want Chelsea to win, but I think Tiffany Stratton, she needs... Well, maybe she could lose, and that could maybe add a little wrinkle to her budding relationship with Nia Jax, maybe. Maybe that would just have her get closer to Nia, So she's not obviously not winning the big matches to kind of keep her around the title. But then again, I don't want Nia Jax to be a babyface again either. So I don't know. I don't really have a good reason why Tiffany should lose.
So then
She
why
should win. Huh?
So why should she win?
Because I think if you're going to go around saying Tiffy time every 2 seconds, you need to do something to prove that it's Tiffy time. And winning Money in the Bank would be it.
Okay.
Like, I think she needs to do something quickly. She's getting to that thing where it's like, okay, I need you to do something. Do something big before we start backing off. So, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you why Lyra should win. Lyra should win because there's no Becky. Lyra seems to be in a position where I believe that she can be the face of Raw. I think she could be the number one person in her brand, which with a potential to eventually become the number one person in the company. I'm not sure how old she is. But she seems pretty young. I want to say, yeah, she's 27. So she's young. I think that she has potential to be that person. Like, I can see the future of the WWE at a WrestleMania being Lyra versus Tiffany Stratton. Like, I could see that being the top two names that they have. That's why, for me, the two people in the front running to win this Money in the Bank is Tiffany and Lyra. And the question is, do you want it on SmackDown or do you want it on Raw? That's just the way I feel. And that's why Lyra should win. Because you don't have Becky. Till Becky decides to come back, if she decides to. You know, maybe she decides to be Rebecca Quinn at another company and become elite. I don't know. She did trademark it. But until she's back, we got to fill that spot. That number one spot, like Ludacris says. So that's why Lyra should win. As far as EO, why EO should win is because Damage Control got to change. And I know she won it already last year and became a champion. Cashed in on Bianca. But a lot of people can say that she won that title because of Bayley, right? Well, this will be her opportunity to win it because of her own. I think she's done great work over the last year. She's definitely improved as far as a character. Before, it was mostly just in-ring. But now we're getting to see more character. I do want to see what does she mean by changing Damage Control. I feel like that's more... I feel like she's going to change the dynamic of the group as far as the members. I mentioned to you before, I feel like Julia might go straight main roster. Io Sky is going over to Japan soon to wrestle. I believe July 13th. So in 10 days, she's going over to wrestle for that new company. And it wouldn't surprise me if she brings some people back. That's how much I feel like if Io wins Money in the Bank, that's going to help improve not only that dynamic of having new members, but it will just secure her dominance as, is she probably the number one heel on Raw right now for the women besides Liv? Like, I'm trying to... I think she would be like the number... Behind Liv, she's number one.
Raw, they definitely need something.
They need something. So for that, right now, if you really think about it, with Rhea out, Becky gone, Liv is really the only top name they have on the women's roster on Raw. So either that's the reason why I have Lyra or Io. Like, that's why I would say they would win. They should win because someone's got to fill that role. So why not them? So, based on all your answers, I'm assuming you're picking Chelsea. That's your official pick?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chelsea.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Lyra. Lyra's gonna be my official pick. If not, Lyra's gonna be Tiffany. But I'm gonna just go ahead and pick Lyra. I feel like Raw needs it more. Yeah. So let's move on to the men's Money in the Bank match. This is consisting of main event Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre. I don't know if this is easier or harder, but we're going to try our best. Sasha, I need to know why Chad Gable should become Mr. Money in the Bank.
Let's see. If he becomes... You know what? If he becomes Mr. Money in the Bank, and I know it's like a foregone conclusion that we feel like Gunther's going to be champion. Ooh, but then that would be weird because we would have another heel versus heel thing. I mean, he could try to get his lick back from Gunther by cashing in on him because he just couldn't beat him. So I think that would be cool. And that would make... And think about it. Like, if he beats Gunther... Well, no, because I don't think Gunther should lose for a very long time. Like... I'll just say I think Chad Gable should win because it would give his obvious... they're obviously going to build him with the Creed brothers and maybe Ivy now, which I think is a good idea. She needs something for her character too. I think that'll immediately add some, what's the word? I had it and I lost it. That would add some legitimacy to them forming their group. Okay. Because you have pretty much a potential world champion in your group. So, yeah, I would go with that reason.
Shout out to them. They're going to be participating in Bloodsport.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, shout out to the Creed brothers for that. All right, so tell me why Andrade should win Money in the Bank.
That's my guy.
Yes.
Andrade needs to win because I think people forget, like, Andrade was the man in NXT. But I think he really didn't get going until they added Zelina Vega with him. So I think having him have a manager would be a really, really good idea. But he's so good in the ring. Like, if he could just get someone to talk for him, gosh, I feel like Andrade could be a world champion. Like, I really do feel like it. Could you imagine, like, him and... I'm not saying he's going to be the one to beat Gunther, but I would love to see him and Gunther, like, go at it. It'd be amazing. I think this is going to be something... If they could find someone to put with Andrade to kind of help...
I got the perfect person for him.
Okay. Who is it? Just tell me.
Charlotte.
I don't know. But if they could find somebody, maybe Charlotte, I don't know, but to talk for him and then just let him get in the ring and just have Triple H book him like he did in NXT, I don't see why Andrade just can't. He could be such a big deal. And winning Money in the Bank would be the start of that. He needs somebody. He's like, I already have pretty much a guaranteed world title in my hand. I need somebody to help guide me there. They find someone, they put it in, boom. So, yeah, man, I think that would be such a good thing for Andrade to get moving. Because I don't want him to be lost in the shuffle. And I think it's a really cool vote of confidence that they put him in there, too. I was really happy for that.
Okay. All right. Now tell me why Melo should.
Well, homie say he doesn't miss, so me thinks he best not miss if he says that. I think Carmelo Hayes should win because that would, you could see like he's starting to get a little more comfortable. I think with him kind of being the Money in the Bank winner, that would give, I don't think he'd be cashing it anytime soon. Like, I think he'd take more of the Damian Priest route and wait. And in the meantime, this would be a reason to kind of put a spotlight on him and start getting him in more of those feuds to kind of maybe build back that lore that he had in NXT. So then when he finally does decide to challenge, then, you know, you'd already established him at that point. So I think this would be a really good stepping stone. I don't see him cashing it anytime soon, but it would just really add something more to him that he really needs right now.
Okay. All right. So now I need you to tell me why L.A. Knight, yeah, is going to be Mr. Money in the Bank, yeah.
I feel like we've been saying this for the past year. I feel like we said this last year. He needs a big win. He needs a big win. But I'm telling you why he should win. So, yeah, same thing. He needs a big win. I think the momentum that he's had has definitely slowed down. It's not what it was this time last year, so he needs that win.
Okay. Tell me why Jay should win.
Kind of the same thing. I think he needs something. I personally, you know what, outside of he needs a big win, I just personally want Jay, and I think I said this the last show, I want Jay to win a singles title before he goes back to the Bloodline. Because I feel like in the Bloodline, it's not going to be about titles. It's not going to be that. And before he reunites with his brother, I want Jay to have an opportunity to win a singles title. Like, he's on the poster. He's literally probably the biggest thing they got. Like, I know the YEAHHH is out there. You got Drew but Jay, he's just, you know, I know everybody's like, oh, he's just become very one-dimensional with YEET, but you can't deny that he's just so entertaining and he's just so in his zone. Like, he doesn't have to be out there delivering these long promos, and he doesn't have to do what Roman does. Like, he took something like this and he ran with it and made it as big as it was. So I really I want this for Jay. I want him to have the opportunity to get one for himself. Because like you said, 4 years ago, none of us saw him being what he is now. So that's what I want. I want that for him.
Okay. And lastly, you got another man out there. Hopefully Damien doesn't hear about it. But your boy Drew McIntyre. I need to know why he should become Mr. Money in the Bank.
I think he needs to get some redemption. He won at Mania. He had his moment taken. He got robbed last month at Clash at the Castle 2 times in a row in his home country. I think Drew needs to get that redemption and have that reign that he feels like he deserves. And I feel like he deserves too. Drew's really stepped up his game. You know, he's already in what I think is feud of the year. So I think this would be a really good moment for him. And it would be very interesting if he is Mr. Money in the Bank. And maybe he does cash in and win. I don't want CM Punk to cost him when he cashes in. Like, at this point, I feel like Punk is going to interfere. Which would make sense. Like, if this was just another Punk just runs in and screws with him or something like that, then yeah, I'd have been like, okay, we've done too much of this. But he did beat this man with an inch of his life, and then take his little bracelet. And then poor Larry, the dog, had to catch a stray when he had that promo. So if he does interfere this time, I understand. I get it. I think I saw somebody had like a theory that like AJ Lee, I don't see it, but it would be pretty cool if she did come down and maybe she was the one who kind of messed with Drew. And she didn't do anything. She could just come and skip around and just do, I don't know. Or like a throwback. Maybe try to push the ladder that he's on, something. But
That would be cool.
But yeah, I think just to kind of get back all those opportunities that he's just been screwed time and time again. I think that's why he needs to win. Yeah.
All right, so I'll just quickly say, well, what's your prediction? Who wins?
Don't say Jay.
You say Jay Uso?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to go with the dark horse. I'm going Chad Gable.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Chad wins it. I think Drew gets screwed. I also think LA Knight gets screwed.
Mm-hmm.
I see both of them going for the title. I mean, going for the briefcase. And Logan Paul and either AJ or I didn't even think about AJ coming out, but you brought it up, so I'm just gonna add her in there. AJ or Larry or CM Punk, one or all of them coming in. Basically, somebody they're those two guys are getting screwed, so they're out. So it's going to only be 4 people left. As much as I like Jey Uso and YEET, but oh wow, sorry. I want Jey Uso to win, but I feel like it would be more interesting with Chad. He couldn't win the Intercontinental title for his daughter. He's building all this other stuff. So what if he just wins the main title? Especially if Gunther's going to be the one with it. He couldn't beat Gunther for the Intercontinental title, but what if he steals it from Gunther, the World Heavyweight title?
Yeah.
Be very interesting. So I'm going to go with Chad Gable as my pick. I got Chad and Lyra. You went main event Jey Uso and Chelsea Green, correct?
Yep.
All right.
I would just like to say that what an amazing feat that would be for Chad Gable to be murdered, come back to life the next week, qualify, and then win Money in the Bank. Never seen it.
It's the comeback story of the year, for sure.
The comeback story of the century.
Of the century, yeah.
Him back from the dead and then what Money in the Bank.
Truly amazing. And to overcome everything he's come, and he got paid. I mean, it's crazy. Hell of a week. Hell of a couple of weeks for Mr. Chad Gable. So gotta be impressed with that. Sasha, I texted you earlier today and said that I might be throwing a Pheno bomb at you. Do you know what a Pheno bomb is?
I think I have an idea, but please go ahead and tell the audience.
So basically, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Adrian Wojnarowski. He is the ESPN NBA insider.
Yeah.
So basically, if anything goes down in the NBA, breaking news, whether it be a trade, an injury, or whatever, they call it the Woj bomb, because he literally sends this tweet out and the whole world just explodes off of the news that he just brings. I'm going to bring one to the show today to kind of end the show. It's not really a It's not based on facts. It's just a prediction that I think is going to happen. And I wanted to I had to bring it up because now we start doing at the end of our show, we like to do a kind of give our flowers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of tie it into that. And it has to revolve around Karrion Kross and his group.
Okay.
Karrion has defeated 7 world champions over the last couple of months, correct?
So I've heard.
He's been bragging about it for the longest. He's also been in a feud with the New Day. In fact, he just destroyed Kofi. Destroyed his arm. Donezo. He's been in a little feud with Xavier Woods. Even though he did lose Xavier, he destroyed Xavier this past Monday. And it was bad. But it got me thinking. 7 world champions. That's a big deal, right? You would say so, right?
Yeah.
Why are they doing that? Why are they having Karrion Kross defeat so many world champions? And then he's in a feud with the New Day. Doesn't make sense. And then I was like, wait a minute. It does make sense. Because the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. Huh. Wait a minute. Isn't there a world champion missing? I think they're setting up the return of Big E.
You really think so?
I am predicting it to the point where I'm almost going to say, you know what? No, fuck it. I'm saying you can book it. I think we're going to get Big E's return. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's at SummerSlam.
I mean, first of all, that is a very bold prediction. I will give you that. Second, I don't know. I love Big E. I love him. I had him one of my moments earlier in the show. I'm just scared. I think this is how I felt when Edge came back and when Bryan Danielson came back, and it's like, you don't really have to, guys. Like, it's okay. Like, we love you anyway. I just want him to be safe. I just want him to be safe. If he comes back and he's able to safely, okay. That's not going to take away the concern that I have, because I feel like he's done so much. And if it stops right here, nothing to be ashamed of. Hall of Famer, wonderful person. Yes. I'm a little scared, but it would be cool. It would be cool. Don't get me wrong. It would be cool.
So that's where I give my flowers to Big E. And if that is true, he's had a wonderful career. So if he doesn't come back, it's okay, obviously, like you mentioned. But they kept mentioning it for a while. And I always try to figure out why. But, and then it's like you're mentioning it, but then you're stuck in a feud with the New Day. And I'm saying it like as if the New Day is trash or something. No, I'm not saying it like that. We know the New Day are Hall of Famers and all that. But what do you gain with feuding with the New Day? Something has to come out of it. If not, it's just a waste, right? So what is the one thing would be a positive out of this? The return of Big E. think it's happening. So those where my flowers go. They go to Big E and hopeful of his return. The last thing I wanted to say, we mentioned it earlier, but between last episode and this episode, we did have a loss in the WWE family. Roman Reigns lost his father, Sika, of the Wild Samoans. Legendary tag team wrestler, one of the leaders of the Bloodline, original OG members of the Bloodline, Sika. Wish the family our condolences and all that. Know that's a tough loss, but they will overcome it. They will come back better and stronger and everything, just to honor his memory, because that's what he would want. I'm sure that's what he would want. I'm talking like I would know, but I'm sure that's what he would want. Is to just learn and grow from it and stuff like that. So, rest in peace to Sika. But yeah, Sasha, do you have any flowers you want to give out to anyone?
Yeah, you kind of took my flowers. I mean, I think for Roman, with his brother being gone and his father being gone, he's really the head of the table of the family. So just sending love and prayers to the family. Also to Pat McAfee's wife losing her dad. That's why he hasn't been on Raw the last 2 weeks. Super unexpected. So
okay.
Yeah, just giving the flowers to those two men who are no longer with us. So just hoping everybody is, the families are sticking together and just helping each other out during this hard time. So.
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. So this was episode 33 of the Ring Champs podcast. Remember, you can listen to us on all streaming sites of podcasts, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. We are up there. We got Money in the Bank this weekend, like we mentioned, Heat Wave. So we got a great weekend of wrestling coming up. Can't wait to watch all that. And yeah, it's gonna be a great weekend of wrestling. Once again, I mean, when is it? It feels like every weekend is a great week of wrestling. So that's just the period of wrestling that we're in. Just every time we turn around, there's something great going on. So can't wait to talk about it. Can't wait to watch these events. Hope everything's gonna be good and just enjoyable. And God, it's just gonna be amazing. Toronto, Canada. So we're gonna have a great crowd. This is gonna be a great event, and I'm off, so I get to watch it. Let's go. So
it's gonna be different to have it in the evening again. I kind of got used to it being during the day.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. We can watch it during. Okay, that's even better. Woo! Shit. Okay, that's even better. So yeah, SummerSlam. I mean, not SummerSlam. Money in the Bank, Heat Wave. Shout out to Roxanne Perez. Shout out to Lola. Steal the weekend, ladies.
Good Lord.
They're gonna kill it. I can't wait. Woo! Can't wait. All right, we gotta go. Shout out to everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode 33. Ring Champs. We out of here. Yeet!
Adios.